We made it to November, guys. You've stuck with us this far, and we're in a new theme, new month, new car. So, this month's theme is cars we're thankful for. What are you thankful for?
This beanie. Because these edges, girl, chaos.
Let's take a poll. What color do you think his hair is this week?
I'll give you a hint. It's whatever's down there.
So bald.
A 2,000 horsepower Nissan Altima headlined SEMA this weekend, but a bunch of baby mamas with hubcaps falling off swear they did it first.
We're looking at you, Candy Burrs. In Kentucky, Toyota will be investing $420 million in their plant, and all the workers there will still have no teeth.
Their mouth looked like the Toyota symbol.
I ate a missing side tooth.
Dodge retrofits the Challenger and literally adds holy guacamole for a car that's aging like avocados.
I'm trying not to do any racial jokes this week. I had one. I'm just not going to say it.
I know exactly what it was.
Motor vehicle deaths has risen 18.5% since the pandemic has started. Too bad they were all caused by Kia Rios and Van Nuys.
Surprisingly, you'll be able to get 334 miles in the new Hummer EV, but good luck fitting that in a charging station.
Where are you going to charge that at? It's going to take like 7 days to charge.
Can you picture trying to get you trying to pull into that little charging station at Walgreens?
Knock all of it off.
Those supposed to be sun tanning.
Out. Laid the hell out.
To protest anti-gay abuses, an artist painted a dictator's car because what's gayer than painting? To protest Iran's anti-gay abuse, an artist painted a dictator's car and it read, "I know my body." Speaking of painting faces, BMW celebrated Day of the Dead in Mexico, but it turns out it was just a meeting with their design team.
And in Coco 2 news, BMW will be in it.
Sorry to that car.
Everybody said that movie was going to make me cry, and at the end I was just like, okay.
That's exactly how I felt.
Oh, okay. I guess.
I was like, so she's remembering stuff now? Cool. All right.
Good for you.
A new patent by Ford hints at retractable exhaust tips because if there's one thing every Ford owner loves, it's just the tip.
And also, all the girls in Houston also love the tip. The hookahs.
Is your girl from Houston?
He ought to be. Woo. Chokehold.
Portable hookah.
If he could, he would. And in more dating around news, it's been reported that Toyota will be working with Porsche on the new MR2. She's worse than being on an app.
That girl's sending out the messages all at once.
And see who's going to show up.
Copy paste.
Subaru first. Then it was BMW. Now you're waiting on Porsche. Hey, at least you're getting gangbanged by the right people. At least I can say that. You want to talk about a modern family.
New York is now issuing $1,000 fines for noisy exhausts as if anybody could hear them over car horns and F-bombs.
Or the rats running into the trash can. Or the homeless man in the back of the car. The train car, that is. And weirdly making eye contact with you.
Yet yelling at you to mind your own business.
Yeah, what? Okay.
But exhaust tips.
Exhaust. That's where we draw the line.
Elon Musk offers to sell his entire Tesla stock if the UN can break down how $6 billion will end world hunger. According to every channel after 2 a.m., it starts with just $1. Oh, man. Yeah, I've been waiting for the report. Still waiting for that Excel doc to see how many families we saved with that $4 we sent over at 2 a.m.
And you still have to change your number because they text you all the time after you donate. And even if you press no, they still do it.
It's giving Jehovah's Witness.
It's giving R. Kelly. Persistent.
Tesla Model Ys are being recalled because front suspension fasteners weren't tightened. What?
Well, maybe Elon Musk should use that money he said he was going to use to end world hunger to fix his shit.
An alleged truck thief rammed 2 police cars. A news station just revealed the 5 cheapest sports cars out today. What do you think they are?
The BRZ twins, Mazda Miata, the Miata twin from Alfa Romeo, Mustang, Camaro, the Z.
You did really good. You got 4 of the 5.
Ow!
And with the reveal of the new Kia Sportage, we found out why that Kia dealership was selling Lamborghinis. Girl just stole the idea. Like
right off the front. But at least it's selling something. At least they make you feel something. Everything else that Toyota puts out literally looks like a RAV4.
They stole that shit. It's giving Mondo Burger, girl. They went right over there and took kale sauce.
The new EV from Toyota, have you seen it? It literally looks like a RAV4, but it has like a long ass name.
Oh yeah, it's like BZ.
BZ4X.
Huh?
So a Prius lifted. Why does everything have to look like an electric car?
It looks like your grandma with the bad hand drew it.
Arthritis kicking her ass in that kitchen.
Or the one that just had the stroke.
Oh, God. Nope.
Oh, it's okay. We all have to laugh at our pain.
Oh. You're going to hell.
See you in the next aisle, bitch. This is a part where I get to be annoying and tell y'all to like our video and subscribe so we could keep sending you more of this fun stuff about cars. Do you think 3 seconds is a long time?
3, 2, 1. 2, 1.
Well, it's not. In the mid-2010s, Tesla rolled out their sedan with numbers that we couldn't believe. How? Because it's electric. That word sounds so common now, but once upon a time, there were only a handful. They were ugly, slow, and if you were lucky, you could make a full trip of errands with them. Then came the Model S, launching us to 60 in under 3 seconds, giving us well over 200 miles of range, and providing sheet metal that wouldn't make us throw up. Barf. It can drive itself? Yeah, right. Everything that automakers said was impossible, Elon and the great minds at Tesla did, and did it over and over again. Now those once scary conservative automakers have at least one EV in their lineup and use some sort of tech inspired by Tesla's innovation. This is a car the automotive industry is thankful for. The ozone is thankful for. This is a car that we're thankful for. But we don't own one yet. Nick does. And today we're going to hop into his 2016 Tesla Model S, dual motored, to find out what gratitude looks like from the inside. Nick, thank you so much for even introducing me to Tesla. You were actually the first electric car that I ever rode in, and honestly the reason I started taking them seriously. You are the person that shaped how I look at electric cars altogether.
That's a really cool seat to be sitting in. Thank you for that, honor of getting able to show you a Tesla for the first time. It's always fun when I come across somebody who's never been in a Tesla before because they're pretty unique, but let alone a first EV, I think that's pretty amazing. So thank you for giving me that honor as well. Love showing people the car for the first time.
Of course. Was this your first electric car?
This was my first electric car that I owned, but I had driven electric cars beforehand. I actually ended up working with Tesla for a little bit, so was able to drive and be pretty familiar with the EV world before actually taking ownership.
And like working for Tesla, I imagine like it's your job to know all the features, everything that these cars do. But was there anything that blew your mind?
Totally. I mean, there's so much to appreciate from Tesla as a manufacturer standpoint. Their technology, their performance, styling, like literally everything is amazing. The feature that really grabbed my attention, I think, is going to be no surprise to anybody. It's the autopilot feature. I was actually lucky enough to be working for the company when autopilot was being released. So
What a moment.
we had, it was honestly one of the coolest experiences in my professional life to be able to launch autopilot. And I was teaching customers how to use their car at this time. So I was one of the very first people to teach customers how to drive autopilot. And my very first time doing autopilot was somewhere in Orange County on the highway, and it was mind-blowing because nobody had known what autopilot was before we were being trained on what it was. So to get behind the wheel of a car, have no experience of autopilot whatsoever, and then have your trainer tell you, okay, click that button and lift your hands up off the wheel, and you're just supposed to trust it, it was pretty wild. So that was probably one of the single most exciting experiences with the company, was being able to learn autopilot from its very first day one. So really that feature specifically is probably one of the most exciting in my opinion.
So like you're pretty much teaching people though. Like you said you're on ground zero. Were there any horror stories, anything crazy that happened?
You know what, I was customer facing for the company from about 2015 to 2017. And in that, you know, about a year and a half with autopilot deliveries, I have no horrid, you know, horror stories to share. I have thousands of deliveries under my belt from back then and no horror stories whatsoever. I think part of that goes into the training that customers get. And now, you know, you go in to pick up a Tesla, Tesla's a household name. You can look up everything online. So people are pretty familiar with the car now. Back then, we had tons of training material. You had a 2-hour appointment. So it was all pretty hands-on, and you got the customer feeling safe before they pulled away from the delivery center. So no horror stories, luckily. But I actually have a couple of personal life-saving stories of autopilot, where autopilot has helped me avoid crashes and alerted me before a crash actually happens. So more so the other way around.
Did you see it coming, or it was just mind your own business? Boop, this thing's gonna happen. You're like, oh my God, that could have been me.
Definitely the second option. I was making a commute from San Diego to LA, and was just kind of cruising in autopilot, still paying attention. And all of a sudden, the car started to shift in the lane and started making all these beeping noises. And I was like, what's going on? And I look up, and there's a semi-truck merging into my lane without a blinker, trying to avoid another accident. So autopilot warned me in time to move over out of my lane and take over control. And lucky enough, the semi-truck only ended up taking off a mirror and didn't even touch my car whatsoever.
Oh my God. I remember that. I remember now. I didn't put 2 and 2 with that accident together, because that could have been way worse than what it was.
If I wasn't in autopilot, I believe that I would have ended up under the trailer of that semi-truck.
And we've seen Fast and Furious 2. We know what happens when you get under a semi. Jesus.
Yeah. So
Toyota's been honestly doing the same thing, and for me, one of my favorite things about the Supra is actually the safety features, believe it or not. One, it keeps me in my lane, which is great. Like if I start veering, it pulls it back. It vibrates, but it'll pull me back into the lane. If I'm coming too close to someone, I have the heads-up display, so it'll show a car. But I was downtown with my buddy, and we were driving downtown, and I saw a little figure on the thing, a person. And I was just looking, and a few seconds later, a woman darted out into the street. And I was like, oh my fucking God.
So your car showed it on your screen before you actually saw it.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That is pretty common, I think, nowadays, is to see the safety features, you know, technologies in general exceeding so much further than we would expect. And you're talking to Toyota. I know you're not driving a Toyota Camry, but, you know, this safety feature stuff is available in the normal commuter car nowadays. It's really exciting to see every manufacturer out there really prioritizing the safety features, because there is no performance or style without a safe car. So I think safety features is huge, and rightly so, one of the biggest like things you look for in a car.
Legit. And I'm surprised. I'm like, wow, this is what mid-30s looks like. Like, I have a Dodge Caravan 4S. Basically, that's what I feel. I'm like moving into the family mode where I'm like, just give me all the safety features and all the speed. Just combine them. But honestly, like, the safety features are cool, but I'm using the autonomy for being a douchebag. I want to use it to do everything that I'm not supposed to in a car just because I can. How often do you let it drive itself?
I would say just about every time I get behind the wheel of this car, I'm letting autopilot drive at some point of my commute. Previously, for like the last 2 or 3 years of my life, my daily commute was about a 45-minute drive each way, most of that highway driving. So autopilot was my saving grace. It was the only reason I was able to put up with that long of a commute, was because autopilot lets you kind of relax a little bit more than normally driving that car. Now, I will look at the camera when I say this. I always pay attention when I'm in autopilot, and I'm always keeping my hands on the wheel, looking ahead, paying attention. Autopilot is still not fully self-driving, as we all know, so you still have to pay a little bit of attention, but just in the couple of years that I've been driving it behind the wheel, I trust it, and I feel very safe when I'm behind the wheel of an autopilot car.
What are his hands doing right now?
They're on the wheel.
But, like, let's not play.
Yeah.
You said you drive, 45 minutes or so, but it's not just because it's a commute. You like going long distances. In fact, you're pretty familiar with it because you do the Gold Rush events.
That is true, yes. So I spend my vacations usually sitting in a car chair or car seat. I love Gold Rush. Gold Rush is probably one of the highlights of my year. I look forward to it every year. For those of you that aren't familiar with Gold Rush, it is a 9-day cross-country rally with about 100 other supercars, exotic cars, top-end vehicles, just really, really cool cars in general. I think the biggest draw and the reason that I keep going back every year is really the people, though. So to be able to make friendships and build networking relationships and just lifetime memories with these people that share a common passion of automotive, like just automotive as a whole. You have, car people, you have truck people, you have off-road people, you have supercar people, you have car collectors, you have race car drivers, and not just, a normal race car driver. We have Indy, we have Formula. So it's all these different people that have walked completely different lives that come together and are able to share experiences and build memories based on this common love of cars. So it's always just something super exciting to look forward to.
I mean, it has literally everything you want at your fingertips. Like, friends, yes. Highways, long stretches of highway, fast cars, friends that also have fast cars that are also driving fast along with you this whole time. Do you ever think Tesla will get to a point with their batteries and charging stations where they'll allow electric vehicles to, engage competitively?
I definitely do. I think everybody in the general public, and including myself because I no longer work for the company, is understanding the benefit of electric vehicles, but seeing that the thing that really is stopping it still from blowing up even more than it has already is the charging and distance that you can go on a single charge. So I don't think any auto manufacturer out there that makes EVs is under some false impression that that's not an issue, because I think everybody knows that that's one of the biggest things that every auto manufacturer out there is working on. Extending range per charge, building charging infrastructure to make it more readily available for the general public, like a gas station is. We've probably passed 50 gas stations since we've been sitting in the car for 20 minutes, but how many charging stations have we passed? So I think that's the ultimate goal for not only Tesla, but just about any other manufacturer out there that's getting their way into the EV world, is focusing on that big issue right now, which is charging or range per charge, as well as where can you charge and the efficiency of that charging station.
I'm honestly pretty ignorant when it comes to electric vehicles. I'm not gonna front. So, like, asking an ignorant question, the superchargers that are out there, can any electric vehicle come up and use them? Or is it like, the same thing you see with certain phones where, hey, like, you can't plug Android up with the connection from an iPhone?
Yeah, so it is very comparable to kind of the Apple Android situation, at least as of today. That was honestly as well one of the biggest reasons why I decided to purchase a Tesla as an electric vehicle, was because those Tesla superchargers, and any Tesla charger doesn't have to be the highest level supercharger, but any Tesla branded charger is only compatible with a Tesla vehicle. The industry, the automotive industry, uses a standardized plug for electric vehicles. Just about any other EV out there, the Prius plug-in, Nissan Leaf, Porsche Taycan, like all those vehicles are all using a specific plug called the J1772 plug. Those are the normal EVgo Blink stations that you see all over the place that are non-Tesla. And Teslas can use those J1772 plugs. We actually have a converter that is given to us with the vehicle, so we can charge on any charging station out there. However, it doesn't work the other way around. So non-Teslas, unfortunately, cannot charge on Tesla chargers today. Now, there's no saying that Tesla doesn't open up the charging network to other companies as well. There's tons of speculation flying around. I have no idea what's happening. I don't think anybody really does until it's official. But as of right now, Tesla is proprietary to only Tesla vehicles.
I mean, listen, I'm not mad at that. That's like a pretty cute business model, if you ask me. Like, way to go. And honestly, like, I applaud them for doing that, because a lot of the industry took Tesla as a joke for a while. And now look, you guys all have EVs in your lineup, every single one of you just about, and you're all taking technology that Tesla has created. Like, in some capacity, you're taking some of that and applying it to your cars. So I love it. So if Tesla wants to step it up and say, hey, we're gonna, like, you know.
That's actually a really good point, that was Tesla's mission statement, and that's why I spent so long with the company. Was I loved their mission statement. Their mission statement wasn't about building the best car. It wasn't about building the best EV, even though it kind of is. Their mission statement was to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. And if that meant encouraging other manufacturers to build EVs to accelerate that transition, then Tesla's achieved their mission. So I think, you know, today in 2021, I think Tesla can successfully say that they've pretty much accomplished their mission, which is accelerating the world to start thinking that gas is not going to be here forever, and the environmental impacts, and we have to make this transition happen now. So to see Ford and Nissan and all these guys, big manufacturers, Mercedes, BMW, putting out EVs finally, and not have it be bizarre is like really, really exciting, and that just proves that Tesla really went after its mission statement and probably has arguably achieved it so far.
That's what I love. When you're innovative and you're pushing ideas forward, yeah, you're gonna fall. You may fall on your face sometimes, but you're usually falling forward, and you're going to keep getting better and better each time until one day you learn how to stand up and, you know, keep a good stride with whatever it is that you're doing that you've built underneath you. So I'm here for everything Tesla does. I know you are, but I also know you're an enthusiast.
Yes.
So if it wasn't a Tesla, what would it be?
It's a hard question. Since I've got a Tesla, I will always have a Tesla in my garage. They're the perfect commuter car. So with that being said, if I have a Tesla in my garage already, I would obviously have to get a fun car. Something that I've been eyeing more recently, which is based kind of 50-50 between excitement and fun and an irresponsible decision, but also still financially smart.
I like irresponsible.
Yes, I have been looking at GT3s. So like a 991.2 GT3. I don't think I'd lose my ass on it if I were to go out and buy one today. It's not going to depreciate much more than it already has, hopefully. And I think I'd be able to put some miles on it and get a ton of smiles and laughs out of that driver's car and really not lose my ass on it financially. So hopefully very, very soon. I'll let this video be the test of time to see in a couple months what happens.
Yes. And Mike, I love that car. I love Porsches just because they're a good base as it is. But truthfully, I buy a car because I like to modify it. Like, that's the enthusiast in me. I want to take it from, you know, what this is to what I see the potential in it could be, and just elevate the car, right? Or just put those unique touches on it. Hey, I found, you know, this motor that existed under this same company that was only existed in Japan. I want to slap this in, you know, and I'm the only one that has that. Yeah, it may be a bitch to work on, but I'm the only one that has it. With Teslas, I know the Plaid is coming out, and that's drastically different from the current one.
Yes.
But could I buy an older Tesla and retrofit it so that it was up to par with the new Teslas, like the Plaid coming out, or anyone for that matter?
The new cars are what they are. The legacy vehicles, the older models of the Model S are what they are. Unfortunately, we're not like Tesla isn't like the traditional manufacturer where it's just one piece bolt in and out. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, I have to just be honest and say I don't know. You know, there's tons of things that are retrofittable, small things. But there are other things that you would think would be easy to retrofit, but is a completely different design, you know, under the bonnet, so to speak. These cars are packed very efficiently from what I've seen when they're, you know, pulled apart. Internal combustion engine vehicles, it's a lot different than that. There's really only 8 moving pieces to our drivetrain is what I've been told. That's weird for me as an enthusiast because I come from modded vehicles. The car I had before this was tuned and lowered for track use and autocross, and to come to this large luxury sedan with not much performance modding that can be done really was the complete opposite of what I was used to. So to answer your question, I don't know what is and is not retrofittable. I think it all comes down to the specific build date of that vehicle and what you're wanting to have done. But if you're wanting that plaid, you better go for the plaid because I don't think you can retrofit the other ones to make that crazy power.
But I think that's going to be such an important thing, especially, you know, in 2035. You're not going to be able to buy new combustion engines or those type of cars. Everything's going to be EV. So the enthusiasts, like, what do we do? Because there's a lot of us in California. I'm not just going to limit it to California, like across the globe. And, you know, whatever California does, though, it's going to spread everywhere else. And one of those things that's important, or how I look at a car, is that it serves as, you know, a beacon of individuality. There's so many different things. It's a giant machine that you can change so many things to make it fit you. And yes, I think from a technological standpoint, there's a lot of things that you can do to modify a Tesla, but, or, you know, any other EV for that matter. But in terms of, you know, taking it like leaps and bounds ahead of what it was leaving the factory. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing on behalf of Elon and everybody at Tesla, because you made this thing about as great as you could make it leaving the factory. You're not being conservative, holding back like some companies with 3 initials do, where, you know, they want to hold back, and we know those turbos could take plenty more boost,
Yep.
you know, but you do it for emission reasons or whatever it may be. But I think we just kind of need to see that from an electric vehicle, that we can go above and beyond. So I'm hoping that we can do that where it extends, you know, to not just cosmetically, but unique, fun things that we can do to just feel dialed in and connected with the car.
Most definitely, and I think that just comes with time and the general public's familiarity with an electric vehicle. You know, it's still new. As long as it's been around for, you know, 5-6 years that these Teslas have been on the road since 2012, 8-9 years, holy moly. For as long as these cars have been on the road, like, it's still new to a lot of people, and that's why you're seeing more and more every day, is because people are finally starting to feel comfortable with an EV. It's no longer this bizarre, you know, one-off car that you see once a month or every couple months. You're seeing them, and normal, you know, general public people picking these vehicles up as daily commuters because they're getting the reputation of being able to handle the range of a daily commute and being able to charge in time for that next commute the next day. And on that note of modifying the vehicles or modding cars, with Tesla specifically, you get the over-the-air updates, which is super beneficial because, like you said, some of those other manufacturers, they could come up with something 6 weeks after you take delivery of your car, and if they can't push an over-the-air update to your vehicle, then you're on the line to sell that car and go buy the new model if you want that new feature. And Tesla, a lot of the times when they've, you know, made upgrades to software or, you know, made the vehicle more efficient by software processes, they're able to push those over the air. So the car, when I wake up the next morning, it's updated itself overnight, and it's a completely different car sometimes.
It's honestly, the OTAs is like having a phone. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go to sleep. Hey, your car is gonna be a new bitch in the morning.
It is exactly that. And back a couple of years ago, we had a speed upgrade available to us. Now, it was a firmware upgrade, so I did have to bring the car in, but it was just a couple switches, and I think it may have been one hardware piece. But it brought my 0 to 60 down significantly. And it was pretty exciting to see that, you know, Tesla isn't like some of these other manufacturers, where if that piece came out, I would have had to sell this car and go buy another one. Tesla gave it to me, basically.
That's fucking beautiful.
Kind of like an over-the-air update. So, pretty amazing. I have a lot of respect for the company and the way they handle a lot of things.
I love that. Like, if I could get into a BMW and find out, oh, you're going from the N55 motor to the B58 tonight. Perfect! Wow, what a win.
Yep.
Any mods up next for your car?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's a few things that I'd like to change stylistically, but I'm in a a difficult position because I've had this car almost 6 years now, and I've almost put 100,000 miles on it since I took delivery of it. So I would love to see a Plaid in my future. I am also big on adventuring, like taking road trips and really enjoying my weekends. So to get an adventurous EV would also be kind of fun. So right now I am practicing self-restraint and trying not to do too much to this car right now because I don't know how much longer I'll have it. I'd love to keep this car forever. It's super sentimental, so I was able to actually custom order and custom spec out everything on this vehicle, whereas now Tesla is all packages. It's different option packages. So you can't buy this specific Tesla anymore. You can't pick out the interior options like I had. And for that reason, it's super sentimental. It's hard to get rid of, but you know, just for how long I've had the car and how many miles I've put on it, I think it's going to be time to upgrade and see what the future has come up with in the past 6 years since I've been driving this one.
A lot.
Yes.
I'm excited to see what you end up with.
I'm excited too. The self-restraint is here because I'm looking forward to that excitement that I'll get when something new is finally in the garage. But until then, I'm not complaining at all. I love this car, have zero complaints, even with 93,000 miles on the odometer, like very, very few service visits, if at all any, that were, you know, really out of my control.
Nick, I feel that you personally look so far down the road, so I'm really excited to see wherever you go. I know it's going to be innovative. I'm just really appreciative that you're able to bring me along on the journey.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for giving me this time. It was super cool to sit with you and have this little discussion. And you know what? Right back at you, man. Everything you're doing as well is super exciting to watch, and excited to see where you end up and everything that goes along with this project that we're working on. So exciting.
Beautiful.
You know what you're doing?
Owe you 3 seconds.